Good Friday afternoon. We are live from the Body and Mind Wellness Center here in Sarasota, Florida. I'm your host, Brian, and we are live on the Brian Gould Show. Go ahead and smile, Jay. I know you're laughing there.
You just sound so nervous, man.
A little nervous.
All
this
of
is
a sudden,
big day.
what's going on?
It's a huge day. Huge day. I can't hear myself.
Oh, your headphones are off?
But I can hear myself.
They're there.
They're there.
Evan's destroyed the box. He constantly yanks on the headphone cords.
Well, as long as everybody can hear me, I guess that's all that's important.
Oh, that one.
There we go. That's the one.
See?
Much better. Coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, we have Pete Rose.
Oh, the Pete Rose.
The man, the legend. Can't wait. Let's cover some baseball scores from last night. Boston loses the fourth and final game in Tampa. Tampa wins 2-1. For you Rays fans, go Rays. The Tigers defeated the Twins again, 8-5. Washington defeats Baltimore 4-0. The Angels defeat Toronto 6-3.
Rays won yesterday.
They won again, 2 in a row. Kansas City over Miami 5-2. The Mets over St. Louis 10-6. Texas over Cleveland 9-0. Shutout there. Pittsburgh over Milwaukee 3-2. The White Sox defeat Seattle 7-6. Atlanta over Arizona 3-1. And a really, really awesome game for Giants fans. The Giants beat the Dodgers 4-0. Unfortunately, if you're a little bit of a pitching fan, Matt Moore for the Giants had a no-no going all the way into the ninth inning. Gets the first 2 outs, and then
Grand Slam?
No, does not get a grand slam. A little blooper into right field.
Then all hell breaks loose?
Yeah, no, his no-no went bye-bye. Seager for the Dodgers got a single and took away that no-hitter going into the ninth. But great pitching performance by Matt Moore. The Giants pick up that one. They needed that one badly to keep alive in the wild card standings. And take a look over at the American League here. The American League, there's really no movement regardless of the wins and losses yesterday. Boston and Toronto still sitting there tied. Cleveland and Texas rounds out the 4 with the wild card spot. Right now, Detroit is 2 games out. Seattle 3 games out. Houston and Kansas City both 4 games out, respectfully. The race, like I said, no movement there, but eventually someone's going to have to give. And I really would like to see my Tigers get in there, but realistically, it probably won't be them. Seattle's been playing some okay ball, but Detroit's on fire right now. They've won 4 in a row. I'd love to see them squeak in there. Over in the National League, again, no movement there either. The Cubs sitting there with 81 wins, the best record in baseball right now. Washington, the Dodgers, and right now just barely on the outside looking in, San Francisco has a little bit of an edge over St. Louis. Cardinals are trying to stay alive. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Miami, Pittsburgh, and the Mets all 3 games back or less. And the Mets are making a good run there, like I've been saying all week long. I like the Mets. I think the Mets can creep in there and push out San Francisco for that wild card spot. Yesterday, we had some NFL games on Thursday night. Seattle over Dallas, 27-17. For you Dallas fans, you're probably on edge right now, and I don't blame you. Romo gets hit from behind and injured just on the 3rd play of the game. It appeared to be just a standard tackle from behind. Romo kind of slid down to a knee and torqued his body in an odd way when he got tackled from behind. He hurt his back. He instantly grabbed for his back. Romo did walk off the field on his own, and he even threw for a little bit on the sidelines trying to stay loose and try to stay active for the game, but coach kept him out. He stayed on the sideline for the remainder of the game, which was good for morale, so it showed that he was not in a real bad place injury-wise. He did not have any x-rays. He did say that he felt a sensation of like a stinger in his shoulder right away, but it went away rather quickly. Now, their rookie, Prescott, took over and completed 17 of 23 passes for 116 yards. He actually had a pretty decent game for preseason. Russell Wilson went 16 for 21 with 192 yards and 2 touchdowns. Again, it's just preseason, but these last 2 games that they're playing right now are very critical as far as repetition and finding out a good base format for who your starters are going to be. Prescott might be the guy starting for the Cowboys before the season's over with. I could really see that happening. We talked about it yesterday. Romo's one of those players that plays well until he gets hurt, and usually his injury comes apparently or coincidentally right around a losing streak with the Cowboys, and sure enough, this guy gets hurt last night in a losing effort. I mean, granted, it was only 3 plays into the game. You couldn't really tell who was going to win the game at that point, but definitely Tony might be looking at working backup before the season's over with, and I'm okay with that. This kid Prescott looks pretty good. I wouldn't hang the franchise on his shoulders yet, but you definitely have a potential up-and-coming quarterback that could lead your team even better than what Romo's done over the last several seasons. Miami Dolphins defeated Atlanta 17-6. Matt Ryan went 12 for 22 with 129 yards, no touchdowns. He did throw 1 pick in the end zone. Julio Jones left in the second quarter with an ankle injury. I think Atlanta still has some questions there that need to be answered, and it's winning on the road. And you know, Atlanta's always played well at home. And again, it's just preseason. I know, don't put too much stock into it. But seriously, Matt Ryan, I'm not completely sold that guy's going to be the guy that gets them over the hump and gets them into a championship game, let alone the Super Bowl. Arian Foster actually had a okay time there. He ran for a 2-yard touchdown run. He played just 1 series in the first half, but at moments I kind of saw Pro Bowl Arian Foster. It seemed like he might get a second wind here playing in Miami. And what I'm trying to say is you might get a chance to see the old Arian Foster of old, the Pro Bowl days, his old Pro Bowl form. He hasn't played a full season since 2012 due to nagging injuries. Ryan Tannehill went 20 for 29 with 155 yards in the air, the only touchdown coming from Arian Foster. Recently, ESPN announced their list of best players or top players in the NFL. And once again, making the top of that list is J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt, don't get me wrong, is one hell of a player. He's a defensive end. That's the problem I have with this. A defensive end cannot be the best player in the league. I just don't see how people could vote that in. I understand why they voted in, but you mean to tell me J.J. Watt is a better player than Antonio Brown? You mean to tell me that J.J. Watt is a better player than Julio Jones? J.J. Watt is a better player than the cheating Tom Brady? J.J. Watt is better than Cam Newton? Look at, and you know, the list goes on and on and on.
J.J. Watt is better than Cam Newton.
Okay, yeah.
What?
Right. Well, that's what I'm talking about. ESPN released their top.
Oh, because they're doing the top list now too, right? Like
Yes.
NFL Network, I heard about that.
Yes. Yeah. And J.J. Watt is on top of that list, number 1. And they're saying J.J. Watt's better than Aaron Rodgers. J.J. Watt's better than Gronk.
Did you say Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
Who was the NFL MVP last year? Was it J.J. Watt?
No.
Who won it? I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. Was it Tom Brady? No, I wasn't being sarcastic.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I'm being funny. I can't remember who won it last year.
My. I'm even drawing a blank.
You can't either? See, I know they were talking about wanting it to be J.J. Watt. I'm trying to remember if he actually won it.
Cam Newton.
It was Cam.
That's right.
How do we forget? Yeah, okay, there you go. J.J. Watt better than Cam Newton.
He finished second to Cam Newton in MVP voting, so...
But a better player. A defensive end, a better player. Not a linebacker, not a corner, but a defensive end.
He's good, but he's not...
Thank you. Like I said, I don't have a problem with him. I don't have a problem with people voting him in the top.
He's great, but yeah, I shouldn't even say he's good.
But he's not the best player on the field.
So you're saying that? Well, I mean, he might be the best player on that team because they don't have a quarterback, or you know what I mean. You could have made that argument. I know they're starting to get some receiving help in that kind of situation, But you're trying to tell me that you couldn't find someone that could do 60% of his production, stick him in there, but then have a better quarterback. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
his position's not.
He's not
He's a defensive end.
right. He's stopping points. He might even put up some
I know
points.
He catches some touchdowns now, and
But to say that this guy is the best player in the NFL is absurd. I was reading
I'd say
this
best defensive player maybe.
at his position.
That's even true.
Yeah, at his position right now. I was reading this morning and just making sure that I had all my bases covered here. But J.J. Watt, just the names that are on this list, they have J.J. Watt at number 1. Right. Okay, you hear my argument. Aaron Rodgers at 2.
Aaron Rodgers should be number 1. To me, he's the best quarterback currently playing. He's peaking right now. There's not. I mean,
right.
He's
Exactly.
the best quarterback.
Right.
Which
Gronk at 3.
Okay, so JJ. So right now, from the 3 you've told me, he's at 3rd. So keep going.
Okay. So J.J. Watt's better than Gronk.
I'm saying I've slid JJ Watt to 3 now from the 3 people you've said.
J.J. Watt's better than number 4 Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I would take Antonio Brown over JJ Watt.
Von Miller, linebacker for the Broncos.
God, who just won the Super Bowl? Let me think.
Yeah, the Broncos.
With
Yeah.
Von Miller. I'm going to go Von Miller.
Yeah. Okay, and I know this is a
Is it
touchy
Sue?
one for you. No, Brady.
Brady?
The cheating Brady. He's better than Brady. Brady has had some questionable things
Look,
in his career.
That's why I feel
But
that's why I feel like when I was joking with you yesterday about being a homer, and I'm not. Look, I'm not saying Tom Brady's not a good quarterback, because he is. I just don't like that he, is bending the rules or breaking the rules and then in everyone's face about it.
Correct.
I don't like that.
No.
There's no reason to be that way.
Ever. And I agree with you on that. Just skillfully, I mean,
If you're the best, be the best without remove all doubt. That's all I'm
there
saying.
you go. I like that. I can agree with you on that. Aaron Donald, defensive tackle for the Rams. I could see that.
Yeah, he's better. He's
Yes.
better than him. Yeah.
Julio Jones, he's better than Julio Jones.
See, I think Julio. I know he's a great receiver, but I've never been super sold on him. He got injured, and then he was a little bit down, and then he got injured last night in the Dolphins game on one play.
Yeah, he was
He's
out
a
in
little
the second quarter there.
Fragile.
J.J. Watt's better than Cam Newton.
Yeah, I'd take Cam over J.J. Watt too. Sorry.
Khalil Mack, Raiders linebacker.
Maybe right now, yes, J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt's better than Adrian Peterson.
See, the only difference there is you're going by age, and now AP's over 30. He only has so much.
AP still got game.
He does, but how many more years does he have?
Right now, I'm talking today.
I think 2.
Yeah, today.
Yeah, but you're saying
Today he's better than AP? No way. Today you're
that one's
saying
closer.
You're saying J.J. Watt is better than Odell Beckham Jr.
I would take Odell before.
Richard Sherman? How about Richard Sherman? Come on.
I might take J.J. Watt or Richard Sherman.
I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Yeah, I mean, okay, here's maybe even a stretch. Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, no.
No.
No, that's what I'm saying. These people that have won multiple Super Bowls and literally put their team, look, say what you want about Ben Roethlisberger's personal life and all the other stuff. Like Evan likes to call him Raplesberger and all that. Seriously, no, okay, haha. Say what you want. That guy can put a team on his back and the entire defensive line of the other team on his back and win games.
And go. Just go.
So,
Ball. I mean,
he is like the quarterback version of J.J. Watt.
Exactly.
So I can't, and he's a quarterback, so I don't know how you could say he's not as good as J.J. Watt.
Russell Wilson?
Yeah, I'm not a big Russell Wilson fan.
I'm not high on him either, but he's a winner. He knows how to win.
He does.
DeAndre Hopkins?
Nah, I take J.J. Watt.
Dude had a stellar season last year.
We'll see if he can repeat that season.
Your boy Sue? Is he better than Sue?
See, different positions. Is he? Those two are about the best 2 defensive linemen, I think, overall.
Yeah.
And everybody goes crazy about how Sue didn't have a good year last year. I don't agree with that.
New place, new face.
But if you look at his stats and break it down, he was the only person playing well. So it looked like the team was terrible and he was terrible. But when you're getting triple teamed, it's hard to
exactly.
It's hard to do that. You're doing your job. If you're triple teamed on every play, you had a good year.
2 or 3 guys always in your face trying to keep you from doing what you do well. I mean, J.J. Watt has a lot going for him. Over the past 4 seasons, he's led the NFL with 69 sacks.
How old is he? Do you know?
27. He's young.
69 sacks in 4 seasons?
Yes.
It's pretty good.
Leads the NFL. And last year he was hurt and still pulled, I think, like 17 and a half sacks. Being hurt. The kid's a beast.
He's great. Can you say he's a top 10 player in the league? I would say that.
Yeah.
I agree with that all day long. But to start putting him in front of Aaron Rodgers and all the quarterbacks that you're putting him in front of, come on.
It doesn't add up to me. And I have a problem with that. It just, defensive players in general, it seems like unless you're a really great impact player, then you're just there, part of the team, helping the team win. I mean, how many defensive players in the history of the NFL have we seen win MVP? Let alone get ranked as the best player in the NFL. One of these days, we might see a defensive player like a J.J. Watt get MVP. I think you always see him second running, third at best. I mean, but the best player overall, I don't know. I'm sorry to keep rambling on about
Aaron
it.
Rodgers.
But it's the
Who
best.
Who did NFL pick? Do you know? Remember when they did theirs like last month?
J.J. Watt.
Was number one there too?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
It's ridiculous. I mean, Cam Newton, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Adrian Peterson, all offensive players over the last handful of years. There's only, LT maybe. But that's linebacker. But a defensive end, the best player in NFL, absolutely not. After the break, we will discuss a little bit of fantasy, but I do want to keep that towards the end. We do have Pete Rose coming on shortly. Tweet me at Live Brian Gould or on Facebook, Real Brian Gould. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Chuck from the BS Show. I want you guys to go check out the best Italian restaurant I've ever been to, Dolce Italia. It's at 6551 Gateway Ave. Their phone number for reservations, 941-921-7007. Guys, when I say this food's amazing, I've been all over the country, all over the world. This is the best Italian food I've ever had. Authentic, unbelievable stuff. Gotta go check it out.
Hi, I am Tiziana. I come from Naples. I own Dolce Italia, Italian restaurant in Golf Gate, 6551 Gateway Avenue. Come to try our wonderful food. Mangia bene, ridi spesso, ama molto. Eat well, laugh often, love much.
How you doing? This is Chuck from the BS Show. I would like to tell you about a great company, Sarasota Sign Machine, LLC, the exclusive sign and print sponsor for 444 Radio. A sign of quality you can trust, located at 601 North Washington Boulevard, celebrating 6 years in business and over 20 years of experience in Sarasota. If you need signs, banners, vehicle magnets, custom design, neon repair, business cards, printing, and more, trust the Sarasota Sign Machine. Look, let's be honest, you have so much more to think about when running your own business. Call us at 941-302-4275. Check us out on Facebook or at sarasotasignmachine.com. A sign of quality you can trust. Tell them the BS Show sent you.
Hey, this is Paulie from the BS Show. When I'm out and about, having too many, it happens to us all, there's only one cab service I call. It's My Ride. 941-400-6606. No more 3-time surcharges. No more drivers that don't speak English, don't know where you're going. They pick you up, they take you home safely, clean cars. They're professionals. They know exactly what they're doing. And when you're riding with My Ride, don't forget to mention the BS Show, 20% off your ride. Chucky, on occasion, will have too much.
Not me, Paul.
These guys are the best. They're what you want to call. They will take care of you. 941-400-6606. My Ride. It's not your ride. It's not his ride.
My Ride.
It's My Ride.
Hey guys, how we doing? This is Evan from the Bee and the Soup Bet Show. I'm here with Rita from J Dubs Brewing Company, and we're in studio. How are we doing today, Rita?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. Hey, I know you have a fantastic brewery over there. Please tell me a little bit about it.
The brewery itself has a tasting room. It has 10 tap lines, so you can find anything that you want, from a light to a dark flavor.
So whatever you like, you can get it?
Absolutely, we got a flavor for you.
Perfect. Also, tell me a little bit about the beer garden I've been hearing so much about.
We got a big backyard out back. We're kid-friendly, we're dog-friendly, so you can come bring your family and friends and just have a good time, play some games, and drink some beer.
Excellent. And then you guys got food?
Absolutely. We got food trucks every day around 5 o'clock. We're open Wednesday through Sunday, noon to midnight.
Excellent. Hey, I hear a rumor that you guys do something cool over there on Wednesdays.
We do. We have free yoga on Wednesday evening starting at 6:30. Come hang out and drink a beer and stretch it out.
That sounds like a great way to spend a Wednesday, I'll tell you. It's 1215 Mango Avenue, Sarasota, Florida, 941-955-2739. And what about social media?
Go to jdubsbrewing.com and you'll find everything right there.
You guys are by far the best brewery in town, and we're proud to have you guys as our sponsor. Come on out there, have a drink with us, and we'll sit around and have a good time.
Cheers, guys.
Hello, this is Captain Sherman of Paradise Boat Tours, and if you're looking for a great adventure on our beautiful local waters, then we are the boat tour for you. Check out our website at seadolphins.com. We leave 7 days a week from Bradenton Beach Pier on beautiful Anna Maria Island. It's fun for the whole family, and yes, we see wild dolphin 95% of our tours. Paradise Boat Tours. Call us at 941-465-8624. Like us on Facebook or go to seadolphins.com. Here, Flipper.
So, Evan, you want to make the other announcement? I know you're excited and happy.
We do have a fantastic new sponsor, absolutely. We are now very lucky to have Rico's Pizza as a sponsor for us. 6547 Gateway Avenue in Gulf Cape. They're open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. They've been there 17 years. Jump
anywhere.
online, ricospizza2go.com. Give them a phone call at 941-922-9604. We did find out today that you mentioned the 444 Radio or the BS show from 444 Radio. You will get 20% off your tab. Give them a phone call, guys, 941-922-9604 or ricospizza2go.com.
Evan, we've lived here 6 months and this bathroom still looks terrible. You're supposed to help me remodel it by now.
I know. You just know how busy I am, though.
Busy? We've got to get this done. If I can't do it because I don't have time and you don't have time, what are we going to do?
I know who to call.
Hello, my name is Stephen Dennis. I own a business here in town called Needaman2 LLC. My email address is needaman2@gmail.com. My number is 941-232-2776. Again, that's 941-232-2776.
Oh my gosh, this looks amazing.
What a great idea.
Looking for the best breakfast place in Sarasota? Look no further. Downtown Word of Mouth, the official breakfast and lunch restaurant of the BS Show, located at 711 South Osprey Avenue, Sarasota. Open 7 days a week. And for special catering events, call 941-365-1800. Don't forget, we are pet friendly with our doggy dining. Like us on Facebook, Word of Mouth SRQ, Downtown Word of Mouth. Tell them the BS Show sent you.
Gulfgate, Sarasota, it's time to eat, and there's only one place to go. Ham Heaven and Devil Dogs, 2647 Mall Drive in Gulfgate. Try the one-of-a-kind filet mignon sliders, or the award-winning Reuben sandwich, voted best in the state of Florida. Ham Heaven and Devil Dogs is open Monday through Saturday till 3 a.m. So after the bars close, you can get some of the best food in Sarasota. Call in and place your order today at 941-923-2514. That's 941-923-2514. Check them out online at hamheavenanddevildogs.webs.com or on facebook.com/HH&DD.
Tune into Goddess Gossip. We can talk about how I'm not a Star Wars person.
Okay, yeah, we should talk about that.
Now that Jay is back too.
I like Star Wars, and
it's not that I don't like it, I've just never seen it.
Well,
I can't
I've
say
seen
I
them
like
all,
something
and
I don't know.
I guess I've never been like a diehard Star Wars, but like I can follow it, and I've always gotten it, and like I like stars, and I don't like wars, but I like galaxy shit and like
my
the
God,
cosmos.
you're saying so literal. You sound so blonde and basic.
I really am.
Well, I like stars, but I don't like war, so
I am basic.
Like,
I'm
so
super
far.
basic and super blonde, so
Tune into our show Goddess Gossip Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m.
We are back live at the Body and Mind Wellness Center here in Sarasota, Florida. This is the Brian Gould Show. Tweet me at Real Brian Gould. Follow me on Facebook, Real Brian Gould. You can listen to the show through the TuneIn app, or you can go to briangouldshow.com and listen there as well. We'll have Pete Rose on in about a half hour here pretty soon.
I am very excited about that.
That's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. So we did discuss GSP wanting to come back and fight. It is more or less official that he will be returning at UFC 206, which I find kind of unique. It's at that event, not 205 in New York. They're going to try to bring him back for UFC 206, which is going to be held in December. It is in Toronto, which, it's kind of his backyard, his home country there.
He's Canadian, eh?
He's a Montreal guy, though, so there's a big difference between people from Montreal and from Toronto.
Oh, there's a huge difference.
Big difference. He's already gone through the process with the USADA to get his comeback mounted here. He's been away for a little over 3 years. Potential names that are being brought to the table would be a super fight with Nick Diaz, not Nate, but Nick. Nick just had that bar fight Wednesday night.
Big difference.
Yeah,
my
sweet.
bad.
Yeah, echo.
Echo.
I guess we're working, huh?
Oh yeah, up and going.
If he doesn't fight Nick Diaz, then even a middleweight championship fight against Michael Bisping would be a potential main event draw. That's what's in the rumor mill right now. Now, with Tyron Woodley more or less saying that GSP's first fight back was going to be against him, that's actually getting us all scratching our heads wondering what happened there. GSP did initiate that with a text to Woodley saying that he wanted to have his first fight back against him. So someone's lying somewhere or being misdirected on information. Also, another spin-off of that is Dana White has said in the past that GSP's done and retired and he'll never fight in the UFC again. Well, it's never say never, obviously.
Money is the only reason things like that happen.
And that's exactly what's happening here. It's UFC's now under new ownership, so I wonder if that's the new owners coming in and pulling out all stops to try to really take a moving steam engine and make it even better and more efficient. Because that's pretty huge to get GSP to come out of basically retirement and to fight a Diaz or a Michael Bisping.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I mean, like someone like myself, who doesn't watch it nearly as much as some people do. So when you start throwing out some of these names, you're like, oh, it's a big deal. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well, GSP's still in great shape. I think he's going to walk into the octagon regardless of whose name he draws. And I think he holds his own. I think he hasn't lost a step. I know he hasn't been in there in 3 years, but he's had 3 years to heal up and get in even better shape than what he was before. He is one of the co-stars in that new Kickboxer movie with Van Damme. He was
Kickboxer 19?
Kickboxer, 19. Kickboxer Vengeance. The only problem that I do have with this is he's...
The main character is 500 years old?
No, that too. No, we talked about it the other day, jumping to the front of the line. I don't think there's an issue with it because if it's going to sell tickets and sell those pay-per-view buys, there's nothing wrong with that. But say he fights Diaz, and I think he wins. I'm sure Vegas will say otherwise. He has to get a title shot. Or if he gets Bisping right out the gate, that has to be a title match. Maybe he's the first fighter that carries two belts in two different weight classes because, Woodley wants to fight him. And I think a Woodley GSP fight would be great for the UFC, and definitely the new owners would lace their pockets up pretty good. But I think he's someone that should probably get one or two fights under his belt before he's just thrown in main event status. But it's a double-edged sword for me. It really is. He's going to sell tickets because we all want to see how he does. Does he still have that same step? Is he just as quick as he was? I think he is. He's always been one of the fighters that people love to watch. He's not hated, I don't believe, but he might not be as well respected for the way he just walked away. And now he gets to walk right back into his limelight again. For you MMA fans out there, Bellator 160s tonight on Spike TV, 10 o'clock. Main event is Benson Henderson versus Patricio Pitbull, and that's for their lightweight title. Actually, the winner walks away for a shot at the lightweight title for Bellator. Have you seen any of the Bellator events?
I don't think I have. No. I have not.
But,
I've got to actually start. I started just hearing a lot of good things about Bellator.
Mm-hmm.
I have to start checking that out.
They bring in just random classics. They brought in Kimbo, Shamrock, Gracie. They're good for capitalizing off of names that were someone at once upon a time.
Right, they get them a little bit after their prime.
Mm-hmm. It gives them a little more legitimacy, and I can appreciate that. They're trying. They're definitely not a threat to the UFC, money-wise or ratings or anything else, but they do a great job at taking care of the fighters. That's one of the things that I've seen online constantly is UFC and Dana, that the fighters aren't happy there, so they leave and they go to Bellator for much less money, but at least they're not dragged through a gauntlet of BS to fight for them.
Right. So at least it's a good working environment.
And that means a lot to a lot of these guys.
Now, I know that it'd be a little strange to transition like this, but is there a college football game tonight? Hawaii plays tonight?
They do. Actually, I was going to get into NFL.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're fine. No, I'm glad you.
That's college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a handful of NFL games tonight, but there is some.
Too.
There's Hawaii's playing tonight.
I went because I was like, man, I got a fight with somebody yesterday. I'm like, you're wrong. There's no game today. I'm like, the first game is next Thursday on the 1st. They're like, no.
No, it's a really weird schedule going into the season. Usually you kick off, if you're lucky, you kick off on a Thursday.
Right.
But you usually don't see it like a Friday game.
Yeah, it's the first time I can remember it, and especially a lone game like that. But I'm sorry. Getting back.
No, you're good. Well, let's go right into college.
Okay.
I'm trying to pull it up right now. Sorry that.
No problem. Hawaii should be playing Cal tonight.
And is that in Hawaii or is that a Cal game?
Look at this right now. It's probably going to be a Cal game. I'm pulling it up right now.
I feel bad.
Let's see. Arizona Stadium, Sydney. That's in Sydney?
Sydney. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's overseas. That's why
it's in Sydney. Okay.
Yes. Yep. You're right. There we go. I got it.
So it's a neutral in a different country. That's going to be cool as hell. That's why it's so goddamn late.
It's on ESPN and it's in Sydney.
And the game starts
at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. All right, that makes sense then. So, well, they're pretty much a week ahead of us, so that makes sense for us.
Now, do they fly? I'd imagine they'd fly from Cal, Hawaii, going west. I don't see them coming this way and then heading over.
Yeah, I think Cal actually has the longer.
Yeah, they should have a little bit longer.
Hawaii, for once, has the shortest way.
That's got to be.
That's got to be interesting.
Weird for them.
And you're thinking, let's see here, you've got Hawaii. Oh wow! Wait a second. Wait. Yeah, so you'd be coming from the other way. So actually, Hawaii would still be at a disadvantage because they're going to go from from east to west.
I was going to say, I'd imagine they'd have to fly from Hawaii to like L.A., board a bigger plane, and then go from L.A. out
to Australia.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I would.
They're not going to fly from Hawaii out. I highly doubt they have a big enough plane to do that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, they go.
It should
Honolulu to Sydney.
Honolulu to Sydney. Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be.
767s.
Yeah, it's got to be because they're so much closer. I mean, you're talking. They're already out in the middle of the Pacific, right?
They're just out there floating.
Yeah. So, and that's the whole reason why the Hawaiian Islands during World War II were such a big deal, right?
Yeah, it was a pivotal point. Transition point.
So for once, Hawaii is going to be closer to the actual time that they'll be playing.
And of all places, Sydney. I wonder what the attraction is to play there.
Everybody wants to go to Australia, man. Go down under.
Go down under.
Everybody likes to go down under.
Well, we have some pretty big NFL games tonight.
Yeah. Did you get to catch yesterday's?
Yeah, discussed that. Atlanta and Miami winning.
With Jay?
Yeah.
Nice.
And Romo going down, getting hurt.
Did he get hurt already?
Yes.
We were just talking about that.
Exactly. Thank you. Third play of the game, Romo goes down. He goes to slide. He was scrambling out of the pocket.
Jams his knee?
No, gets tackled from behind and torques his body kind of oddly, and he instantly grabs his lower back. And
That's pulled muscles.
He's got that plate in his collarbone.
Right.
And he said that.
Where's the Kevlar?
He said he had an instant stinger in his shoulder, but it eventually went away. And he was even on the sideline throwing the ball, trying to keep loose. But Coach said, no, sit out. And he sat on the sideline just for morale. He stayed there the rest of the game.
Then if he's still out there throwing, it's not that bad then.
But we were just literally talking about this yesterday, how he goes down with injury. And here it is, third play of the game, and he goes down. New England's at Carolina. That'll be a great game.
Carolina.
Buffalo at Washington. Cleveland here in town. For your Tampa Bay listeners, you've got the Browns tonight. Pittsburgh at New Orleans. Green Bay at San Fran.
Oh, that'll be a fun game.
That should be it should have been.
Well, the way it is now, they'll have all their scrubs out.
Well, they're trying to keep their starters out a little bit longer to get a better feel for who's going to be sticking around and who's not, and getting them loose and ready for the regular season. Of course, Romo went down and Prescott got to play, and Prescott actually looked pretty good. I said earlier in the show, I wouldn't be surprised if he eventually takes over that starting job. Now that Romo's been injured, that might be a quote unquote nagging injury throughout the season, and I just see it as an excuse why he's not playing well, because I don't think he plays well, and Prescott takes over that position.
He is, at very least, if you say not playing well, which I don't think so. He plays well. It's just I find him very hot and cold. He goes through when he's hot, and then he'll fall apart very quickly. So he's just, you never know which Romo you're going to get.
And that's been the story of his career. I don't have any personal issues with Romo. I can't say, he's said this or he's done that and just made me not be a fan of his. I don't know why, but I've just never really have been a fan of Romo's. I think he's been slightly overrated at times.
I think that's what the biggest problem is. People are like what they allow him to do and how long they've stuck with him isn't worth or doesn't stack up to it happening. And I totally understand that. You're like, the guy can't get it done. But for some reason, how many years now has he been at the head? He's been, God, forever at this point.
Forever. And that exactly what you just said. He's been there for so long, and they've stuck with him. And I'm just not a Romo guy. I never have been. I think that they've taken too much stock in the guy. I think with Prescott there, you've got a kid that's hungry, that's actually playing decent, that could eventually take over that position.
Well, and that's the thing. At this point, now, even if he's there for another 2 years, he's not there as Tony Romo 100%. He's there to get the other guy ready now.
And that's
now. And at this point, if you stuck with the guy as the head for so long, why not keep him for another year or two to get your guy up to speed?
Romo's been there 14 seasons. It's been that long. Wow. I thought it was like 8 or 9, but it's been that long.
14 seasons.
And,
God.
And Prescott's right there knocking at the door. So you know what? You I don't want to say a rebuilding stage, but at least rebuilding at the quarterback position. They still have a lot of great players there, and they have a lot of potential coming up.
You take advantage. Green Bay, you can say whatever you want about Green Bay, but they showed you how do you get rid of an awesome quarterback and then bring somebody up and get taught how to be a great quarterback behind them. When Rodgers was behind Favre, he learned how to play the position better and learned from one of the best.
He had a great mentor.
So now, obviously, Romo's not
on the same level, I don't think. But you take advantage of it because he's still a good quarterback. You know, a great quarterback? No, not at all. But definitely, you know, better than some of the guys who are out there. And you take advantage of that. You have him mentor and teach and show how things are done. And then you give a year or two to the younger guy to get used to it. You bring him in for second halves of blowouts. You bring him in for easy games. You know, when you soften up other defenses, you bring him in.
That's the
time.
time.
Get him some defense. Get him some confidence. And then after a year or a year and a half, or who knows, even a good half a year, you bring him in. But now instead of coming out not ready to roll, he's at 85% the second he steps on the field.
And if you're the coach, Jason Garrett, I don't know why he's still there. Jason Garrett, you have to play this kid. Romo's 14 years into the league. This kid's ready. He's young. Is he NFL ready? No, but he's drafted by you guys for a reason.
So that puts Romo at like 35, 36 at least, right?
He's got to be up there.
Right, 34, somewhere around there. Mr. Tony Romo. Got an age on him?
Mr. Robert Burner.
He's 36.
36, there you go. All right, so he's exactly as old as I think he is. So there's no way this guy goes to 40. He hasn't won anything.
And he's going to. If he doesn't...
He's going to sit until he's 40.
Yeah, he's going to be there.
I think realistically, this should have been, I mean, no matter what you say, his year's over. That should be the end of it. If he now has a couple rings and had done something, you could say, okay, I could see him taking a couple more years and being, okay, fine.
Right.
But he has none of that.
No, he's not won anything.
Nothing.
Anything at all. They haven't even come close. I'm sorry, even the couple really good years or seasons that they had, you didn't come close. You didn't get to the Super Bowl. You didn't get to the Super Bowl and lose. You didn't even get to the Super Bowl. And Prescott needs to play. And Jason Garrett, how you still have a job in Dallas is beyond me. Seriously. But Jason Garrett, you really do need to get this kid some playing time because that's your future. And if you want to keep that job, then get this kid playing.
Now, as a football fan that cannot stand Dallas as a whole, I say please mess it up as much as you possibly can. That's good for me. But it just doesn't make sense.
Jason Garrett was an okay player when he played. What Jerry Jones saw in him as a coach, I don't know. I've not read anything that intelligently makes sense to me. And this has been recent because just before Garrett was there, you had Wade Phillips, and Wade was his guy. I'm sticking with Wade. We're losing, but I'm sticking with Wade. We're at 500. I'm sticking with Wade. We're losing. I'm sticking with Wade. We're losing. Wade's fired. And now Jason Garrett steps in, and he has a couple of decent seasons as a coach. But is this your long-term guy? Are we going to be talking Jason Garrett at the end of Prescott's career? I hope as hell we don't. Garrett's not the answer there either. Garrett's got to go. Garrett's got to get that kid playing now if he wants to keep his job.
That's how I look at it being a Bengals fan. You know, I've had a 500 or less coach for the last two quarterbacks, and there's no change in sight. I mean, and that's the only thing we've never changed. You know, like, is he going to be there? Yeah. Is his tenure still going?
Right.
By the end of Dalton's career?
Right.
By the end of, quarterback
the next
3.0?
guy coming up.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what the difference there is, though? At least the Bengals have had a few really good years.
Well,
they were in the
five in a row, but still one and out.
You can't just settle for that either.
Right.
And that's why other coaches get let go much sooner because, hey, you put together 3 to 5 good seasons. Fine. Okay. What are you missing? What tool, what player, what stadium, what keys to a car that you need to get my franchise into the big game and then win it? You can get me close. You can get me to conference titles games all you want, but you're not getting me there. And Dalton is another guy that I think is underrated in the league that deserves a ring. He should get there and be given the opportunity to win one because I think he would and could. But as long as the Steelers keep screwing with you guys.
Well, that was our fault last year.
And that game, yeah.
Jesus.
If there was a season that I thought since he could get there, it was last season.
It was.
And they were looking good.
And he got hurt 3 games before the end, and I understand that happens. There's nothing you can do
You
about
can't
that.
predict that, no.
But then walking into, that game with the Steelers, of course, it had to have been them.
And that's the other thing. Of course, it had to have been them.
It had to have been 6. I mean, come on. That's just how it works out, and that's just that's how it goes. It's not luck. That's how it is. That's you end up in those spots, and they picked it up at the end, but ended up shooting ourselves in the foot, running off the field at 1:15 left. And I mean, I remember watching 4 weeks prior to that, Dallas and the Giants, 1:17, 1:20 left, 17 total points scored in a minute and 15 seconds. Like, why would you think the game's anywhere near over?
Until the clock says double
Yes.
zeros.
Yes.
What is wrong with you?
The immaculate reception should tell you right there.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? Even at that point, until the clock's double zeros, damn Aaron Rodgers were the only team the Detroit Lions last season, the only team to be winning the whole game and then lose at the end because of a stupid Hail Mary pass. And then Aaron Rodgers comes out and does it again. Is it a fluke or is he that good? You can't step away, especially from an Aaron Rodgers-led team or from Pittsburgh or whoever it is, and leave time on the clock and think that the game's over.
And he is that good. Let me tell you in my opinion why. Because you always say, "Oh, that team got lucky and won that game." No matter how lucky you are at the end of that game to win the game, if you weren't good enough to be in the fight at the end anyway, then it doesn't matter if you get that last one.
No.
If you're down by 40 points, there's no conversation to begin with. So you are that good. Now, did you get some luck on your way? Hey, that's sports. There's a kick one way, there's a kick the other way. A touch of the ball, a drop ball, jumped early.
There's human error everywhere.
Absolutely, and that's why we play. Right?
That's part of it.
So to say just because you got lucky, that's the way it is. And I don't care if you get lucky every game. If you're not in the game to begin with, that's the whole stuff with, and I bring it back to, Tim Tebow. He got lucky. Guys, if he wasn't in the game, they're like, oh, the kicker kept him into it. Well, if you weren't close enough for the kicker to make that kick, then you're not really in the game.
It wouldn't have mattered. If he was down, but like you said, by 30, 40 points, then the kicker helping him, or, they wouldn't have said, oh, the kicker kept him out of the game.
Exactly. So if you, like Aaron Rodgers throws a Hail Mary for the W there, that is not luck why they won the game. It helped out, but they were there because they were already in the mix.
Right.
That's why they're so good. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
So, all right, well, end of the day, my personal feelings, Prescott needs to get some playing time, and that's his team. Garrett, if you want to keep your job, give Prescott the ball. Coming up after break, guys, legendary Pete Rose.
Pete Rose.
You are listening to The Brian Gould Show. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Chuck from the BS Show. I want you guys to go check out the best Italian restaurant I've ever been to, Dolce Italia. It's at 6551 Gateway Ave. Their phone number for reservations, 941-921-7007. Guys, when I say this food's amazing, I've been all over the country, all over the world. This is the best Italian food I've ever had. Authentic, unbelievable stuff. Gotta go check it out.
Hi, I am Tiziana. I come from Naples. I own Dolce Italia, Italian restaurant in Golf Gate, 6551 Gateway Avenue. Come to try our wonderful food. Mangia bene, ridi spesso, ama molto. Eat well, laugh often, love much.
How you doing? This is Chuck from the BS Show. I would like to tell you about a great company, Sarasota Sign Machine, LLC, the exclusive sign and print sponsor for 444 Radio. A sign of quality you can trust, located at 601 North Washington Boulevard, celebrating 6 years in business and over 20 years of experience in Sarasota. If you need signs, banners, vehicle magnets, custom design, neon repair, business cards, printing, and more, trust the Sarasota Sign Machine. Look, let's be honest, you have so much more to think about when running your own business. Call us at 941-302-4275. Check us out on Facebook or at SarasotaSignMachine.com. A sign of quality you can trust. Tell them the BS Show sent you.
Hey, this is Paulie from the BS Show. When I'm out and about, having too many, it happens to us all, there's only one cab service I call. It's my ride. 941-400-6606. No more 3-time surcharges. No more drivers that don't speak English, don't know where you're going. They pick you up. They take you home safely, clean cars. They're professionals. They know exactly what they're doing. And when you're riding with My Ride, don't forget to mention the BS Show, 20% off your ride. Chucky, on occasion, will have too much.
Not me, Paul.
These guys are the best. They're what you want to call. They will take care of you. 941-400-6606. My Ride. It's not your ride. It's not his ride.
My ride.
It's my ride.
Hey guys, how we doing? This is Evan from the Bean and Soup Bet Show. I'm here with Rita from J Dub's Brewing Company, and we're in studio. How are we doing today, Rita?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. Hey, I know you have a fantastic brewery over there. Please tell me a little bit about it.
The brewery itself has a tasting room. It has 10 tap lines, so you can find anything that you want, from a light to a dark flavor.
So whatever you like, you can get it?
Absolutely, we got a flavor for you.
Perfect. Also, tell me a little bit about the beer garden I've been hearing so much about.
We got a big backyard out back. We're kid-friendly, we're dog-friendly, so you can come bring your family and friends and just have a good time, play some games, and drink some beer.
Excellent. And then you guys got food?
Absolutely. We got food trucks every day around 5 o'clock. We're open Wednesday through Sunday, noon to midnight.
Excellent. Hey, I hear a rumor that you guys do something cool over there on Wednesdays.
We do. We have free yoga on Wednesday evening starting at 6:30. Come hang out and drink a beer and stretch it out.
That sounds like a great way to spend a Wednesday, I'll tell you. It's 1215 Mango Avenue, Sarasota, Florida, 941-955-2739. And what about social media?
Go to jdubsbrewing.com and you'll find everything right there.
You guys are by far the best brewery in town, and we're proud to have you guys as our sponsor. Come on out there, have a drink with us, and we'll sit around and have a good time.
Cheers, guys.
Hello, this is Captain Sherman of Paradise Boat Tours, and if you're looking for a great adventure on our beautiful local waters, then we are the boat tour for you. Check out our website at seadolphins.com. We leave 7 days a week from Bradenton Beach Pier on beautiful Anna Maria Island. It's fun for the whole family, and yes, we see wild dolphin 95% of our tours. Paradise Boat Tours. Call us at 941-465-8624. Like us on Facebook or go to seadolphins.com. Here, Flipper.
So, Evan, you want to make the other announcement? I know you're excited and happy.
We do have a fantastic new sponsor, absolutely. We are now very lucky to have Rico's Pizza as a sponsor for us. 6547 Gateway Avenue in Gulfgate. They're open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. They've been there 17 years. Jump
anywhere.
online, ricospizza2go.com. Give them a phone call at 941-922-9604. We did find out today that you mentioned the 444 Radio or the BS show from 444 Radio. You will get 20% off your tab. Give them a phone call, guys, 941-922-9604 or ricospizza2go.com.
Evan, we've lived here 6 months and this bathroom still looks terrible. You're supposed to help me remodel it by now.
I know. You just know how busy I am, though.
Busy? We've got to get this done. If I can't do it because I don't have time and you don't have time, what are we going to do?
I know who to call.
Hello, my name is Stephen Dennis. I own a business here in town called Needaman2 LLC. My email address is needaman2@gmail.com. My number is 941-232-2776. Again, that's 941-232-2776.
Oh my gosh, this looks amazing.
What a great idea.
Looking for the best breakfast place in Sarasota? Look no further. Downtown Word of Mouth, the official breakfast and lunch restaurant of the BS Show, located at 711 South Osprey Avenue, Sarasota. Open 7 days a week. And for special catering events, call 941-365-1800. Don't forget, we are pet friendly with our doggy dining. Like us on Facebook, Word of Mouth SRQ, Downtown Word of Mouth. Tell them the BS Show sent you.
Gulfgate, Sarasota, it's time to eat, and there's only one place to go. Ham Heaven and Devil Dogs, 2647 Mall Drive in Gulfgate. Try the one-of-a-kind filet mignon sliders or the award-winning Reuben sandwich, voted best in the state of Florida. Ham Heaven and Devil Dogs is open Monday through Saturday till 3 a.m. So after the bars close, you can get some of the best food in Sarasota. Call in and place your order today at 941-923-2514. That's 941-923-2514. Check them out online at hamheavenanddevildogs.webs.com or on facebook.com Facebook.com/HH&DD.
Tune in to Goddess Gossip. We can talk about how I'm not a Star Wars person.
Okay, yeah, we should talk about that.
Now that Jay's back too.
I like Star Wars, and
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Brian Gould Show. We are live here in Sarasota, Florida, and we have a very, very, very special guest on with us right now, Mr. Pete Rose. Hello, Mr. Rose. How are you doing today?
Brian, I'm doing good today. It's a pleasure to talk to you. It's a pleasure to be on your show for all the fans in the Sarasota area. Where we as Cincinnati Reds spend a lot of time in that area down, Clearwater, Tampa, Sarasota, Bradenton, Plant City. I did a lot of spring training down there. There's a lot of great fans down there.
A lot of great fans. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show today. You won a World Series with the Reds in '75 and then with the Phillies in '80. Which city do you think had the better fans?
Well, Philly had more fans. Yeah, you got to remember, Brian, when you asked me that question, I was born in Cincinnati.
Right.
So I kind of played from my hometown. So I will always say the Cincinnati fans were my favorite fans. Although my 5 years I played in Philly, we went to 2 World Series, 80 and 83. I really enjoyed my 5 years there. We also won the World Series in Cincinnati in '76. We also lost the World Series in Cincinnati in 1970 and 1972. And we also lost the playoffs to the Mets in 1973. So I had a lot of postseason play with the Cincinnati Reds that happened to be my hometown. So, I enjoyed myself more in Cincinnati than I did Philadelphia. However, I had a good time when I went to Philadelphia. Every free agent should go to a town like Philadelphia. I know the fans get a bad rap there because I look at it like this, Brian. Fans in Philly want you to do 2 things. They want you to play hard and they want you to win. And I can say nothing bad about fans who want that.
Absolutely. No, I strongly agree. Philly fans always do get a bad rap. Some of my friends are Philly fans, and they're diehard, they're loyal, and they're
knowledgeable. They're knowledgeable too.
Very.
They're like New York fans. See, whenever you have a fan base, Brian, and you have a lot more media than other cities. What I mean by that, a lot more papers, a lot more radio stations, a lot more TV stations. You're going to be advised more about what's going on with your team than cities that don't have as much. And that's why most of those fans in New York and Philadelphia and L.A. and Boston, that's why they're pretty educated sports fans, because of the amount of media they have in the town.
I'm a Detroit guy, raised in Michigan. Yeah. And you had Sparky Anderson as your skipper. What was it like to play for Sparky? I was a big Sparky Anderson fan.
Sparky was the best. Sparky was the best. I played for 12 managers. There's no question in my mind that Sparky was the best, and I played for a lot of good managers. But I always rate managers by W's and L's, and Sparky won the most games. Sparky was the most street-smart guy I've ever met in my life. Sparky's philosophy was this. Think about this. Tell your listeners to think about this. There's 3 ways you can treat a person. You can pat him on the butt, you can kick him in the butt, or you leave him alone. You got 25 different guys on your team, 25 different egos you're handling under one set of rules. And Sparky was the best at that because you have to know how to handle your people because you're asking them to go to war for you every night. Who wants the ball bases loaded 1 out? You need a strikeout. Who wants to go to bat with bases loaded 2 outs, bombing the 9th high score in the 7th game of the World Series? Some players thrive on that. Other players don't want that. And as a manager, you have to know your personnel. And Sparky knew his personnel both in Cincinnati and in Detroit.
And you're right. Growing up watching him, I mean, I'm a little younger, and when I watched him, especially right after, we were calling it the Roar of '84, and just tearing off after that, even in the down seasons towards the end of his career in Detroit, he always just knew how to handle players and how to handle situations, and it seemed like he always knew how to discuss even the rough times with the media. Like he was very, very intelligent with how he was handling situations.
Like I said, he was so street smart. He was like me. He wasn't book smart, but he was street smart toward people and street smart toward baseball, and he could relay that to people that he talked to. He was comfortable to talk to. He cooperated with everybody, and he could be tough at times, which you have to be. But he wouldn't be tough just to be tough to a reporter. He'd give you your space. He'd give you your time. He asked the right questions. He'd give you your right answers. In other words, he was a great interview. He was a great interview, and he was great for a team. He was great in Detroit. And he was great in Cincinnati. And that's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
For those of you listening, this is legendary Pete Rose on with us today. Pete, who was your favorite pitcher to face? Was there anyone that you saw on occasion that you couldn't wait to get on the mound with?
Yeah, I don't think you ever have a favorite pitcher you want to face. I think you have pitchers that you'd rather pass on if you could.
Who was your toughest?
With me, that was Sandy Koufax. I couldn't have Sandy Koufax with your studio door. But he was really great. I mean, I was 10 for 57 off Sandy Koufax. That's 175. One of the best pitchers I ever faced was Juan Marichal. I hit 340 off him. Bob Gibson, the most competitive pitcher I ever faced. I hit 307 off him. Warren Spahn, for your old-time listeners, I hit 17 for 32 off of him, which is 580. So it's spurty. I mean, it's just, you can't say I don't want to face this guy or I'd rather face this guy, because you might pick a guy you think you can hit and you'll go 0 for 4. Or you might think a guy you can't hit, you'll go 3 for 4. So you have to, whoever's on the schedule, that's the guy you got to face. You can't take off days against the tough pitchers. You got to play against all the pitchers.
Tony Gwynn, Ted Williams, and Wade Boggs have all said that they could see the stitches on the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand. Could you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everybody in baseball can. I mean, those guys aren't something special that if you were a baseball, I could teach you in a half hour behind the studio to see the stitches on the ball.
Wow.
Brian, you have to see the stitches or you don't know what the hell the pitch is, because every pitch has a different rotation on the ball.
Right.
A curveball has a certain rotation. A slider does. A knuckleball has no rotation. A screwball has a backward rotation. A fastball just has a normal rotation. That's something that's blown out of contact, because I don't think there's a player in baseball that can't see the stitches on the ball. And what we're saying is when the guy throws a pitch, because of you're trained to see the stitches, you know what the pitch is. See, and another thing about hitting in the big leagues. First of all, most pitchers you're going to face, you know what they throw. Okay, I've often said that the easiest place in the world is to hit is the big leagues, and I'll tell you why.
Wow.
Because everybody that plays in the big leagues has hand-eye coordination. I think you'll agree with that.
Yes.
You don't have hand-eye coordination and not make the big leagues. Okay. Now, when you get to the big leagues, the lights are better, the umpires are better, the pitcher's control is better, and maybe most importantly, you're facing the same guys year after year after year. They don't get better.
That makes sense. I never looked at it like that.
And I don't care who you are or where you're from or what color you are or how much money you got. Go to the Hall of Fame, you're going to make 7 out of 10 outs. So it's what you do with those 3 hits is what counts toward the team winning games.
I've never looked at it like that. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. No, that definitely does. And especially at that level, that does make sense.
Yeah, you might be a high school player or a college player, Brian, and you might see the guy on Monday, and you'll never see him again. And the first thing you know, you're 0 for 3 before you know what the hell he throws. Where when I faced Tom Seaver or Steve Carlton or Bob Gibson or Bill Negro, those guys, I knew what they were going to throw. I knew what they weren't going to throw. And you just have that battle to see who's going to get the hits or who's going to make the outs. Pretty simple.
Interesting. That all does make sense. Any players along your journey that never got the recognition that they should have, like an underrated player?
Yeah, sure, a lot of them, and we had some on our team. When you have a team with Sparky, and you got Bench, and you got Morgan, and you got me, Tony Perez didn't get his due. David Concepcion didn't get his due because by the time they got to those two guys, the reporters were quoted out. You know, and it might have something to do with the English situation. But Tony Perez was, almost 1,700 RBIs. I mean, hitting behind Johnny Bench, which is a pretty tough position to hit in. You're going to knock in runs because Johnny didn't leave too many ducks on the pond. But there's a lot of players that are quiet and they don't want to talk to the press, and they get overlooked. Here's the way I look at it: whether it's a radio show, whether it's a magazine reporter or a newspaper reporter, they got a job to do. And the easiest way to make their job easy is to cooperate with them. Give them 5 minutes a day and go about your business. And if you cooperate with them, then they won't be hanging around your locker, hanging around outside your house, hanging around you at the batting cage, trying to get your quotes. So it's amazing when you cooperate with people at the ballpark, especially on the field, how everybody's day just goes by a lot smoother.
Well, speaking of talkers, were there any trash talkers in your dugout or on the opposing team that you?
No, we didn't have trash talkers. Trash talkers don't make it. We had agitators. Tony Perez was the biggest agitator in the world. So was Joe Morgan. But the agitation in the right way. We kept each other alive. And we made it fun to play the game. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Big Red Machine was the best team in the history of baseball. But I'm going to tell you one thing. The Big Red Machine was the most entertaining team in the history of baseball. We're the only team to date, Brian, that had a Hall of Fame manager, a white Hall of Famer, a Latino Hall of Famer, and a black Hall of Famer. That would be Bench, Morgan, Perez, and Sparky.
Wow.
Okay? No other team has ever had that ingredient. And what about the other guys? Geronimo, Foster, Griffey, Concepcion. Those were all all-star players. Those were all all-star type players. So we had a complete team, and we had Golden Glovers, a center fielder Golden Glove, shortstop, second base, catcher. We had home run champions. We had RBI champions. We had batting champions. We had base stealing champions. We had everything. We had personality. That's why we had the most entertaining team in the history of baseball, I believe. I don't think I'm wrong on that.
No, you covered it all. That's a really great and entertaining team, like you said.
Now someday, Jeter will make the Hall of Fame. Rivera will make the Hall of Fame. Torrey made the Hall of Fame. And if I was voting, Roger Clemens will make the Hall of Fame. So someday that ingredient will be with New York. But until that happens, the Reds are the only players that have the ingredient I just talked about.
The players that play today, would they have been able to make it in your time? Are they too soft now?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure. They'd have made it in our time, just like we can make it in their time. Great players are great players. It don't matter when you're playing. I mean, that's like saying, would Babe Ruth make it today? You're damn right he would.
Yeah.
Would Gary make it today? Yeah. Would Stan Musial make it today? Absolutely. Would Roberto Clemente make it today? Absolutely. Would Mike Trout made it back in the 60s and 70s? Absolutely. Bryce Harper? Absolutely. Miguel Cabrera, he could make it any day. He's really a great hitter. So, there's some changes in baseball. I think the biggest change in baseball, and I could be wrong about this, but I don't want to say it hurts baseball, but it doesn't help baseball. It helps the players, is the multi-year contracts. See, we never had multi-year contracts. My first 16 years with the Cincinnati Reds, I had one-year contracts.
Wow,
What does that create, Brian? That creates, you got to do something in 68 to get a raise to play for 69. You got to do something in 72 to get paid in 73. Would I have rather had a $10 million a year salary for 5 or 8 years? Absolutely. But they didn't give them out in those days. Security is a big thing for an athlete. But when you don't have security of a long-term contract or even a multi-year contract, you have to produce. You don't want to miss games because you can't get a raise. You can't get statistics sitting in the dugout in street clothes and being on a disabled list. It just doesn't happen that way. Willie Mays never spent no time on a disabled list. Hank Aaron, neither. Yastrzemski, neither. Vince, myself, Morgan, we didn't spend time on the disabled list. And we had injuries. We weren't freaks, but we played with our injuries. I played 24 years, Brian, and not one player I ever played with or against had an MRI. And I don't remember any player that I played that had a concussion. And I don't remember any player except one that had Tommy John surgery. You know who it was?
Tommy John.
Tommy John?
Tommy John.
Yeah. Wow.
So that way, medically, baseball has changed. And it's changed because of what I just talked about, the contract. Because if you own a baseball team, Brian, and you got a really good pitcher like an Arrieta or a Kershaw or something like that, and you give them 8 years of $25 million a year, and the second year he gets a kink in his elbow, you're going to shut him down right away, because if he has a situation where he throws when he shouldn't have and he can never throw again, you're obligated to that 7 more years of $25 million a year. Because baseball contracts are all guaranteed. They're not like football contracts or some of the basketball contracts. I've never met a baseball player that didn't have a guaranteed contract for the whole length of the contract. It's just like, remember Bobby Bonilla?
Yes.
Okay. For the Mets, he gets $1 million a year, I believe, until the year 2034.
It's something ridiculous like that. He's still getting paid.
Yeah, and he hasn't played for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
That's a guaranteed contract. That's a guy that couldn't play anymore. And just like right now, he's on his way to come back. But if Kershaw, his back injury, prevented him from playing baseball ever again, the Dodgers would owe him $250 million. It's just like the guy from the Angels, Hamilton.
Yeah,
they released him the other day. They owe him $30 million next year.
Yeah, and he's not going to be
on
the field.
They got to pay it.
Yeah.
And he won't even be on the field. Not this year, but the last couple of years, the 2 highest paid outfielders for the New York Mets weren't even on the team.
Very true.
They weren't even on the team. One of them was released, the other one was on another team. A-Rod, they got to pay him $28 million next year.
Yeah. I'm glad you touched on that. If you were commish for a day, besides what you just mentioned, what rule would you make or change in baseball?
Well, I don't think I could make any rules to change the way the salary's constructed, because the owners know what they're doing. They're all billionaires, and they got so much money they're not worried about. The owners can't trust each other about players. That's one of the problems you have. You could be an owner of a team, I could be an owner of a team, and we're going to say, see, this guy here's a free agent. We can't give him that kind of money. We just can't do it. It's going to ruin our business. But as soon as you say that, an owner on the West Coast will give him the money. They can't trust themselves because they got so much money. So I don't know what I'd change. I would change. I would not have the DH at the All-Star game ever. I don't think at the All-Star game that I want to see Jake Arrieta face Verlander in an All-Star game. I would just say have more players available that you can put good players in the lineup all the time.
Do you like?
That's one thing I would change. There's not too many changes. I sure the hell wouldn't change the collisions at home plate. I wouldn't have changed the collisions at second base. Brian, we started this game in 1869. First night game, 1935. Baseball's been pretty successful.
Very.
Now, you can't change the rules every time you think something happened to cause an injury. You watched Buster Posey get hurt a couple years ago.
Yeah.
His ankle got cut underneath his shin guard, and he didn't have the ball. So my advice to that is, if you don't have the ball, don't block the plate. Okay, or you're in trouble. It's just like in the 70 All-Star game when I had the collision with Ray Fosse. He had the plate blocked but didn't have the ball. That's why we had a collision. I started to slide, but there was nowhere for me to slide. So what's the sense of sliding if you can't reach the plate?
Right.
Or we won a World Series, I think, in 1975 because we're down 3-0. There's a double play ball against Boston, and I hit Danny Doyle and he threw the ball in the dugout. I broke up a double play. Now, if he makes a double play, the inning's over. They're ahead 3-0. He didn't make the double play. The next pitch, Bill Lee threw Tony Perez and Ethan's pitch, and he hit it over the Jimmy Fund and made the score 3-2, and got all the momentum on the Cincinnati Reds side, and we ended up winning Game 7. And that was the 4th or 5th inning. We're down 3-0.
Right.
And you score 2 runs simply because you break up a double play. Every play, Brian, is important in the game when you're trying to win it.
The American League won the All-Star game this season, and they get home field advantage in the World Series. Do you like that format?
I think it's worth something to see, because when I played, we played in 17 All-Star games. I did. And unlike today, this is the difference. I like it. I like to mean something. But there again, when you say it means something, it only means something to a handful of teams.
Right.
Because you can name the teams that had players in that All-Star game that have no chance of going to the World Series. You know who they are. We don't have to mention them.
Right.
Okay? But when I played, we played strictly for league pride. If you had Hank Aaron on your show tomorrow, or Willie Mays, or Clemente, or McCovey, or Bench, they would all tell you the National League is better than the American League. If you had Al Kaline, if you had Mickey Mantle, if you had Yastrzemski, if you had guys like that, Jeter, they tell you the American League is a better league. Because I played my whole career in the National League. And I always thought that the All-Star game was the opportunity to show the world that the National League was superior to the American League. It's the only way you could do it, because the top teams in both leagues that go to the World Series every year are real good teams. But I thought back in the 60s and 70s and 80s that our expansion teams in the National League were better than the American League expansion teams. And another reason why I always thought our league was better, and I hope you understand this, is because we had more African-American players. And we had more African-American players because Montreal, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, St. Louis, Houston, San Francisco, all had AstroTurfs. And when you have AstroTurfs, you need speed in the outfield. And that's why we had more African-American players, because they're good runners. We all know that.
Yeah.
And you need to cut those gaps off in those big ballparks with that AstroTurf.
Interesting. Yeah, the National League seemed like it was flooded with more talent through.
Well, and we just took the game very seriously. I can't imagine Willie Mays getting on a plane and flying from San Francisco to Philadelphia to New York and getting one at bat and leaving the game. Willie wanted to play the whole game.
Right.
When I made the All-Star teams, not as a starter, we weren't guaranteed we were going to get in. We wanted to. I could give you another illustration. In 1967, I made the All-Star team as an outfielder. Okay? I didn't get to play to the 14th inning. And when I played second base. Wow. And the reason I didn't get to play to the 14th inning, because I was the only guy on the bench could catch if our catcher got hurt.
That's incredible.
But I would do anything to win the game, because we had the league pride. We were trying to show the world that because the only interleague play we got other than the All-Star game, Brian, was spring training.
Wow. Amazing. Like I said earlier, I'm a Detroit guy, and I love watching.
Yeah.
I love watching Miggy. Who's your favorite player to watch today?
Well, I think Mickey's. He's probably the best all-around hitter in baseball today. He's been the best hitter in the last almost decade. I mean, the guy could really hit. Even when he was with Miami, he was a good hitter.
Right.
Altuve's a real good hitter today. The kid that plays second for Washington. We got a chance this year. Of having American League second baseman and National League second baseman both winning back titles, which they're ahead today, and both being MVPs in the league. I don't know if that's ever happened or not, because second base is not usually a run-producing position.
Right.
You get your run production from outfielders, from third basemen, and first basemen, and you usually get your defense from shortstops and second basemen and catchers. You know, that's why the Big Red Machine was so good. We had potential MVP candidates at second base with Joe Morgan and behind the plate with Johnny Bench every year. That's why we were such a good team. Other than Buster Posey, you can't name me another catcher that will either be in the top 20 for MVP balloting this year.
No, you're
and
right.
Other than Altuve and what's the second baseman name? Plays for the Mets, plays for Washington now. His name always. I get away from the left-hand hitter that hit all the home runs in the playoffs last year. He's leading the league in hitting. He's probably first side. Him or Brian or Rizzo are probably the MVP in the National League. So it's very hard for a second baseman to produce that batting champion level. You know, I won 3 batting championships and never won one at second base. Matter of fact, I don't know if any second baseman won a batting title when I was playing. It usually was an outfielder.
With I don't know, A-Rod, I find it unfortunate that his career came to a screeching halt, and I honestly feel that
who'd you say?
Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod. I honestly feel he didn't get a chance to walk away on his own terms. I think the media and fans had a lot to do with that. How much of a role mentally does the media and fans play on you as a player?
Well, Alex has had a wonderful career. I mean, you know, if you analyze Alex Rodriguez, he's one of my good buddies, by the way. I work with him on Fox. You know, Alex is one of 3 players, Brian, in the history of baseball. 3 that have 2,000 runs scored and 2,000 RBIs. That's some really good statistics. It wasn't working out right for Alex. He wasn't getting the playing time. There's no way that if he played the whole month of September, he wouldn't have got 4 more home runs. But Alex can't play on Monday, then play again on Wednesday or Thursday. He's got to play Monday too. He's got to get some momentum.
Right.
And I didn't think that they handled him right. It's just like they released Alex Rodriguez with 5 weeks or 6 weeks ago, and they keep Teixeira in the lineup.
Right.
And he's hitting 197, and he's making over $20 million. And this is his last year. So, you know, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I guess I'll be wrong about this, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if I'm surprised Alex didn't go somewhere and finish off the season this year to some contender where he could get a lot of at-bats. I thought Miami was going to get him because Giancarlo Stanton got hurt and they needed a right-hand hitter. Alex might have fit in good down there.
I did see that, and there was even rumbling a little bit here. I'm closer to Tampa about bringing him in because they need a DH here in Tampa. And I think you're right. I think he does land a spot somewhere before the season's over. And I don't see why he couldn't play at least another season or two because he is chasing.
Well,
you know,
Alex won't play just to chase records, but he has to. I think I'm right on this, and I hope I am. I think that Alex had a $5 million bonus in his contract if he got 700 home runs. So that might be another reason why the Yankees released him. They didn't want to give him $5 million more.
Makes sense.
You'd hate to think that, but if that's true, and I think it is in his contract, and he would get another $5 million, he got 714 home runs, which is Babe Ruth's total, or if he beat Babe Ruth's total. So, you know, Alex is a good guy. He made no mistakes like the rest of us. He's had a wonderful career. Yes, I would vote for him for the Hall of Fame if I'm voting. And I say that for one reason only, Brian. It's just like I'd give Roger Clemens a vote for the Hall of Fame. I'm the type of guy, and I don't know what either one of them did. I'm not here to judge Alex Rodriguez or Roger Clemens.
Right.
But I am here to say I'm an American. I'm willing to give him a second chance.
That's awesome.
That's one reason I say that.
The Cubs the other day hit 80 wins, first team to do it this season. They're sitting at 81. Is this their year? Can they finally get over the hump, get in the World Series, and win it?
Well, it's hard for me, Brian, even if I talk to you or if I talk to Bob Costas or if I talk to anybody. It's hard for me to pick the Cubs. When you haven't won since 1907, I have a hard time picking. Now, are we going to say the Cubs got the best team in baseball today? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. I take my hat off to them. Joe Maddon's done a wonderful job for the Cubs. Now, they had last year they won 97 games, so they had a good year last year. Now, are they going to be able to get through the playoffs as they play Washington or somebody? Well, it's a wait and see.
Right.
You know, they still are playing good now. They're beating up on a lot of bad teams. But the end result to be a good team is to win the playoffs and go to the World Series and win.
That's it.
Not just during the regular season. We know they got a good team. They're good. Yeah, they got a 14-game lead against the Cardinals. I mean, that's an insurmountable, a lead in a baseball pennant race.
Well, the shift.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see if the Cubs can withstand the pressure. They got good players. They got young players, but they got young players that haven't been through the mill yet. And don't forget, this is the same bunch of guys with just a couple changes that got swept by the Mets last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Swept 4 in a row.
Well, to shift gears on you here, I'm a big wrestling fan, and you've been in 3 different WrestleManias. I think that's pretty cool. How did you get involved in the WWE? How did that come about?
Well, I know Vince McMahon, and we just put the thing together with Kane. And I must say this, that I've been around wrestlers a lot, and from Vince McMahon on down. Okay, I've never met a wrestler who wasn't a great guy. They are all great guys.
Yes.
Whether it's Steve Austin or The Big Show or The Undertaker or Mom's Venus. I mean, every one of those guys are just great guys. And they're all in the back, and they're always together and having fun back there. And they take the injury situation real serious. You know, everybody's worried about it. And that stuff's real out there. That blood out there is real.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's not fake. Like some people say, well, they got capsules and no, that blood is real back there. And it's a show. It's entertainment. It's the greatest show on TV. And Vince McMahon has done a wonderful job. Stephanie, the son, Shane,
yeah.
They know how to, whoever writes the scripts, man, knows what the hell they're doing because they do a good job.
The choke slam from Kane, did you get a chance to practice that beforehand, or did you just go with it?
You're damn right you got to practice that.
I thought so.
And the choke slam was tougher than the power driver, and I'll tell you why. Because when I did the choke slam, see what happens is he gets you around his neck, and when he goes down, you bend your legs, and when he goes up, you jump. You jump to make it look like you're really high in the air. And at that time, Kane had a bad wrist. He had a small cast on his wrist, and he couldn't pick me up as much. So I had to really help him as far as getting up in the air.
Posting. Yeah.
Now the other one, the power driver, you got to practice that because you have to have your head above his knee, because his knee is the one hitting the mat.
Right.
And you got to have your head above his knee, or your head would hit the mat first. And you don't want that.
Definitely don't want
so you
that.
just tuck your head underneath his crotch, so to speak. That's a scary situation too. I
could imagine. I really could imagine. I handle Florida Pro Wrestling.
That's as close as my head's ever been to that area in my life.
Yeah. I'm the owner of Florida Pro Wrestling here. It's an independent company, and I know the ins and outs, so I know exactly what you're saying.
You're pretty lucky down there because I don't know why, but it just seems like we've had so many wrestlers, good wrestlers, come from the Tampa area.
Yeah, they do. A lot of them do.
Yeah.
A lot of the greats come from this area. The also in our area, we have the IMG Sporting Academy. It's in Bradenton, a really nice big sporting academy. I was just reading up and seeing that. Sorry about that. Seeing that you have Pete Rose Hit Academy coming up in later on this year in Texas. What's your involvement with that?
Yeah, Katy, Texas. It's called Pete Rose. It's called Hit King Baseball Academy. To be honest with you, Brian, and we've talked about this in the last 30 minutes or so, I'm just, I don't want to say fed up, but I'm just very disappointed how a lot of teams are playing the game of baseball today, and I think it's coming from no one's getting any instruction when they're younger. And our academy is going to be from 8 to 18, and we're going to have great instructors, and we're going to teach the proper way of playing the game. You know, because you teach these kids at 8, 9, 10, 11, when they get up in high school, ready for college, they know the proper way of playing. And it just seems like coaches just spend time with the star players and nobody else today. You know, I even see a lot of mistakes when I watch the Little League World Series. Guys not catching balls, routine balls, or throwing to the wrong base, not being in position to field the right way. And they try to do a great job. I'm not taking anything away from them on that point. But, you know, fundamentally sound baseball, Brian, there's one thing you don't want, one thing you can't have is on-the-job training at the big league level. It doesn't work. Fans don't want on-the-job training in the big leagues. You don't want to go to see the Tampa baseball team play and have guys out there making minor league or high school mistakes. It's not a good situation to have on-the-job training. You need your training before you get to the big leagues.
Great. Well, once again, we have legendary Pete Rose here on the Brian Gould Show, and want to get to the main part here for me, and that is to discuss, you've partnered up with my friends Brian and with Fandy Action and Alan Ross, FandyAction.com, and Pete's Picks. That is a really awesome thing that you've got going on there. Can you tell us what...
Well, it makes it fun, Brian. I mean, it makes picking games, picking players... and you don't have to gamble on it. You can if you want. As you may not know, I think you probably do, baseball owns 10% of DraftKings, and the commissioner come right out and says it's not gambling, so they can't get mad at me for having my own fantasy site. And, you know, it's FandyAction.com, and I'll pick 5 players every night. I may pick 5 teams. We may have the Super 10 when I'll pick 8 players and 2 pitchers. And you can play against my picks for prizes, and it's kind of fun. And what it does, I think, it creates a lot of interest for people that are picking. And what does that do? They'll watch more games.
Right.
So I'm trying to create more fans and make it fun because it's kind of my knowledge against your skill. That's what it boils down to. Because I have a lot of knowledge in the game of baseball, and because I'm on Fox. I watch the game every day. I watch a couple games every day, so you're probably not going to stump me on baseball players.
Doesn't sound like it.
There's a lot of new ones this year. So, you know, if you have knowledge on teams, then you can try to pick against me.
And with Fandy Action, you can go to FandyAction.com, and listeners, you can also, there's a direct link on my website, BrianGouldShow.com. Right now there's a great promotion. When you sign up, you're given a free $5 sign up.
Yeah, we'll give you $5 to make your first wager. So what have you got to lose? Getting on the internet and then down at FandyAction.com.
And get to take on Pete Rose and his picks. And what I also like about the website is the breakdown on some of these games. You can do a first half and a second half, which isn't offered anywhere else.
Well, we have a lot of things that FanDuel and the other one don't have.
And
you know, and another good thing we have is daily. You know, like when you get your football fantasy, you got to wait till Sunday,
right?
Or you got to wait till Saturday. You know, we're going to have football too. We're actually putting together a horse racing situation.
I see that,
where you can pick 3 or 4 horses and try to beat me, but you can't pick the favorite. You know, because too many of these horse racing seminars they have there in Vegas. You know, a guy will come and be a bad handicapper, but he'll get lucky and pick 150 to 1 shot.
And it happens.
And that'll win him the tournament. He didn't know a darn thing about picking horses, but he got lucky when he picked 150 to 1 shot. So, you know, we're trying to eliminate that too.
Awesome.
But it's fun. It's fun when I sit and talk to Al every day, and you know, when I give him my picks, we go over it. It takes about a half hour every day, and you know, we have a pick 5 non-salary cup games, pick 10 non-salary cap games. We have first and second half contests, 5-inning baseball contests, horse matchups, Pete's Picks, and salary cap with better player value. That's what we offer.
Yes.
And we're not trying to be FanDuel. We're not trying to be DraftKings. We're just trying to be the little guy, giving the little guy an opportunity.
That's great. I see that salary and non-salary cap games. You cover everything, and that's great. Once again, we are on with legendary Pete Rose talking about Fan D action, and I think it's great that you're involved in this, and I think it's going to do very, very well, and looking forward.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing you have to understand. That I'm involved in it, but I can't bet with Fan D action because I live in Nevada, and Nevada residents are not allowed to participate in fantasy sports, gambling type. Okay, so you're not gambling against me. I'm just putting my picks in, and you're picking against my picks.
There you go.
So I want people to understand that, so they don't think that, I'm betting on fantasy sports every day. Gotcha. I'm giving you guys the opportunity to not bet unless you want to, and if you do, I wish you luck.
Very nice. Well, Pete Rose, thank you so very much for being on the show and going through my gauntlet of questions today. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you on today. Thank you very, very much.
Well, the only question I can ask you is, you sure you had your tape turned on?
I hope so. Once again, legendary Pete Rose, thank you so much for calling in. After the break, guys, we'll talk some more fantasy sports. This is the Brian Gould Show.
Let me tell you something, Brian. When you get Brian Ross on,
Hey, this is Chuck from the BS Show. I want you guys to go check out the best Italian restaurant I've ever been to, Dolce Italia. It's at 6551 Gateway Ave. Their phone number for reservations, 941-921-7007. Guys, when I say this food's amazing, I've been all over the country, all over the world. This is the best Italian food I've ever had. Authentic, unbelievable stuff. Gotta go check it out.
Hi, I am Tiziana. I come from Naples. I own Dolce Italia, Italian restaurant in Golf Gate, 6551 Gateway Avenue. Come to try our wonderful food. Mangia bene, ridi spesso, ama molto. Eat well, laugh often, love much.
How you doing? This is Chuck from the BS Show. I would like to tell you about a great company, Sarasota Sign Machine, LLC, the exclusive sign and print sponsor for 444 Radio. A sign of quality you can trust, located at 601 North Washington Boulevard, celebrating 6 years in business and over 20 years of experience in Sarasota. If you need signs, banners, vehicle magnets, custom design, neon repair, business cards, printing, and more, trust the Sarasota Sign Machine. Look, let's be honest, you have so much more to think about when running your own business. Call us at 941-302-4275. Check us out on Facebook or at sarasotasignmachine.com. A sign of quality you can trust. Tell them the BS Show sent you.
Hey, this is Paulie from the BS Show. When I'm out and about, having too many, it happens to us all, there's only one cab service I call. It's my ride. 941-400-6606. No more 3-time surcharges. No more drivers that don't speak English, don't know where you're going. They pick you up, they take you home safely, clean cars. They're professionals. They know exactly what they're doing. And when you're riding with my ride, don't forget to mention the BS Show, 20% off your ride. Chucky, on occasion, will have too much.
Not me, Paul.
These guys are the best. They're what you want to call. They will take care of you. 941-400-6606. My ride. It's not your ride. It's not his ride.
My ride.
It's my ride.
Hey guys, how we doing? This is Evan from the Bean and Soup Bed Show. I'm here with Rita from J-Dub's Brewing Company, and we're in studio. How are we doing today, Rita?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. Hey, I know you have a fantastic brewery over there. Please tell me a little bit about it.
The brewery itself has a tasting room. It has 10 tap lines, so you can find anything that you want, from a light to a dark flavor.
So whatever you like, you can get it?
Absolutely, we got a flavor for you.
Perfect. Also, tell me a little bit about the beer garden I'm hearing so much about.
We got a big backyard out back. We're kid-friendly, we're dog-friendly, so you can come bring your family and friends and just have a good time, play some games, and drink some beer.
Excellent. And then you guys got food?
Absolutely. We got food trucks every day around 5 o'clock. We're open Wednesday through Sunday, noon to midnight.
Excellent. Hey, I hear a rumor that you guys do something cool over there on Wednesdays.
We do. We have free yoga on Wednesday evening starting at 6:30. Come hang out and drink a beer and stretch it out.
That sounds like a great way to spend a Wednesday, I'll tell you. It's 1215 Mango Avenue, Sarasota, Florida, 941-955-2739. And what about social media?
Go to jdubsbrewing.com and you'll find everything right there.
You guys are by far the best brewery in town, and we're proud to have you guys as our sponsor. Come on out there, have a drink with us, and we'll sit around and have a good time.
Cheers, guys.
Hello, this is Captain Sherman of Paradise Boat Tours, and if you're looking for a great adventure on our beautiful local waters, then we are the boat tour for you. Check out our website at seadolphins.com. We leave 7 days a week from Bradenton Beach Pier on beautiful Anna Maria Island. It's fun for the whole family, and yes, we see wild dolphin 95% of our tours. Paradise Boat Tours. Call us at 941-465-8624. Like us on Facebook or go to seadolphins.com. Here, Flipper.
So, Evan, you want to make the other announcement? I know you're excited and happy.
We do have a fantastic new sponsor, absolutely. We are now very lucky to have Rico's Pizza as a sponsor for us. 6547 Gateway Avenue in Gulf Cape. They're open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. They've been there 17 years. Jump
anywhere.
online, ricospizza2go.com. Give them a phone call at 941-922-9604. We did find out today that you mentioned the 444 Radio or the BS show from 444 Radio, you will get 20% off your tab. Give them a phone call, guys, 941-922-9604 or ricospizza2go.com.
Evan, we've lived here 6 months and this bathroom still looks terrible. You're supposed to help me remodel it by now.
I know. You just know how busy I am, though.
Busy? We've got to get this done. If I can't do it because I don't have time and you don't have time, what are we going to do?
I know who to call.
Hello, my name is Stephen Dennis. I own a business here in town called Needaman2 LLC. My email address is needaman2@gmail.com. My number is 941-232-2776. Again, that's 941-232-2776.
Oh my gosh, this looks amazing.
What a great idea.
Looking for the best breakfast place in Sarasota? Look no further. Downtown Word of Mouth, the official breakfast and lunch restaurant of the BS Show, located at 711 South Osprey Avenue, Sarasota. Open 7 days a week. And for special catering events, call 941-365-1800. Don't forget, we are pet friendly with our doggy dining. Like us on Facebook, Word of Mouth SRQ. Downtown Word of Mouth. Tell them the BS Show sent you.
Gulfgate, Sarasota, it's time to eat, and there's only one place to go. Ham Heaven and Devil Dogs, 2647 Mall Drive in Gulfgate. Try the one-of-a-kind filet mignon sliders or the award-winning Reuben sandwich, voted best in the state of Florida. Ham Heaven and Devil Dogs is open Monday through Saturday till 3 a.m. So after the bars close, you can get some of the best food in Sarasota. Call in and place your order today at 941-923-2514. That's 941-923-2514. Check them out online at hamheavenanddevildogs.webs.com or on facebook.com/HH&DD.
Tune in to Goddess Gossip. We can talk about how I'm not a Star Wars person.
Okay, yeah, we should talk about that.
Now that Jay is back too.
I like Star Wars, and
It's not that I don't like it, I've just never seen it.
well,
I can't
I've
say
seen
I
them
like
all,
something
and
I don't know.
I guess I've never been like a diehard Star Wars, but like I can follow it, and I've always gotten it, and like I like stars, and I don't like wars, but I like galaxy shit and
Oh
like
my
the
gosh,
cosmos.
you're saying so literal. You sound so blonde and basic.
I really am.
Well, I like stars, but I don't like war, so
I am
But,
basic.
like,
I'm
so far.
super basic and super
I like-
blonde. So tune into our show Goddess Gossip Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Brian Gould Show. I want to touch on the NFL once again. I know we covered it earlier in the show.
Hang on one second, Brian. I've got to say that was freaking awesome. Pete Rose was unbelievably cool as hell, and I don't generally get too excited when it comes to somebody who's famous.
Besides me.
But yeah, you mean nothing to me.
I'm kidding.
To sit,
What a dick.
To sit around and hear him throw out stats and talk about when he was the play in 1970 for the All-Star game. I was like, this is
incredible.
Unbelievably awesome.
Incredible. And he knew, I guess, I should touch on this.
And I got to say, I screwed up a little bit because I was so enthralled. I actually cut your mic off a couple times by accident because I wasn't paying attention.
Because you were jealous.
And I apologize.
I want to talk.
No. I didn't say a single thing in the entire interview.
I know, but instead he turned his mic off.
I sat back and let him talk. I laughed a couple times. And then when he's talking about being by the guy's crotch, that I wasn't expecting him to be so
the
funny.
Pile driver,
that was hysterical.
That was great. Yeah, I know. I was deer in headlights when I went to speak, and there was nothing. I'm looking at you like, you cut me? Why? And why right now? But
I've got to say that is the coolest. That's one of the coolest interviews I've ever been a part of, and I've done some really cool interviews. That's definitely the coolest interview I haven't been part of, like haven't talked about or wasn't participating in. That is the coolest interview I've ever just sat by and watched.
That was pretty awesome.
And that is definitely in the top 3 or 4 coolest ones that I've been involved in, even myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be it. It was nicely done, my friend. He
Thank
was
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Pete
I'm
is
so excited about all that.
Phenomenal. I mean, just to know what he hit against each pitcher. I went 17 for 34. I went 18 for this, and he
knew the percentage
right down to the percentage. And Pete knows his stuff. And guys, fandeaction.com. Take on Pete Rose in the daily.
Who cares about winning money?
No.
If you beat Pete Rose, that's huge to begin with.
Good luck.
Are you kidding me?
Good luck.
That's sexy.
That is awesome.
And as a baseball fan like I am, that was unbelievably cool.
That was really cool. And once again, thank you, Pete Rose, for spending time with us today and allowing me to pick your brain on all those subjects and topics that I touched on.
Now, is he going to be? Are we going to hear from him again, or?
I will know better later on this afternoon. If it's not weekly, maybe once a month we can get him. If not every other week, I'll work on that.
But he's definitely going to be a regular on Friday's show.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Who
that
else
is the
could
plan.
say that?
Yeah, that is definitely the plan. When I talk to his people later.
I hope that I get to talk to him next time, so you don't hog the all
the
time.
Let me press the button next time.
Press this, buddy. I'll press
the
this
button. Press the button.
That was awesome. Sorry, I had to jump in there. I couldn't let that go without.
Listen, all y'all, sabotage.
Shut you.
Later tonight, New England at Carolina, Buffalo at Washington, Cleveland at Tampa, Pittsburgh at New Orleans, Green Bay at San Fran. These are all Friday night games, of course.
All that
tonight.
means nothing to me. There's only one game on tonight for me.
And that would be?
The Hawaii-Cal game.
Hawaii and Cal.
I am so looking. Are we getting together for this game? What do we got going on
at
for that
10
tonight?
p.m., buddy.
I know. You don't think you're not going to watch it?
It's on ESPN. Come on.
I'm going to watch it.
Why don't you guys come over across the street and watch it?
Oh, Christ. I don't have ESPN anymore.
No, you can come across the street and watch
it. I
it.
have the ESPN app on the Xbox One, and we can watch it live on the Xbox One.
Is it but don't... Oh, yeah. I guess
are you working on it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Doing my thing.
We could walk over if we're here, yeah.
We could.
Have a brewski. I'll buy you a brewski.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
You guys have any of that hard soda beer stuff over there?
We do not, no.
How about the root beer stuff, no?
Yes.
You do have the hard root beer stuff?
Your dad's...
Dad's hard limit. No, not your dad's root beer.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about that.
I think you'll have one and be done.
My favorite so far.
Is that strong?
No, because what
it's
it is...
Sweet.
Is it overly sweet, or is it like root? Does it actually taste like root beer?
Yes,
exactly. It's exactly like root beer.
If it tastes like a good root beer, that won't be too sweet.
No,
and that's
but
something else.
It
tastes like a good root beer. You're
this is the point behind it. Do you like beer in general?
No.
Okay. So what's your favorite drink? Your favorite alcoholic beverage?
I don't really have one. But until recently, I tried that Seagram's hard soda, that grape soda.
Right. Okay.
And it tasted like grape soda,
then
not overly sweet.
Look at it this way, Evan. You're a vodka guy.
Yep.
Vodka and Sprite.
Vodka water.
Okay. You could have 3, 4, 5 of those.
Mm-hmm.
Can you have 3, 4, 5 root beer?
No.
You see where I'm going with that? You can have one of those because it's not something you
two,
can sit there and have 2, 3, 4 and drink casually. You just can't do it.
He might be able to. Though.
I don't think so.
I can do two.
People say that about the apple cider stuff. I used to kill 4, 5, 6 of those.
Okay, so you're familiar with that. Then I just don't see it with the root beer. I just don't.
Either way, it's really good, and it tastes like really good root beer.
Getting to it,
I love
is really
when
good.
I used to. I haven't really drank soda in almost 10 years or
it's
whatever.
Pop. Stop with the soda thing.
Right on Seagram. It's hard soda. It's not hard pop.
They made a typo. They spelt pop wrong.
A big typo.
That's right.
Yeah,
everybody else is wrong except for you retards.
Darn right.
I would like to put a big old thing of vanilla ice cream in.
I've tried
in one
that.
of
The second bottle I ever tried, I did the vanilla ice cream, and it was a really good.
Alcoholic root beer float.
Yeah, it was really good.
Put a little bit of caramel schnapps on there.
Now you're talking.
Oh man, butterscotch schnapps.
You're gonna make it hard to leave here without walking across the street.
The diabetes is coming.
It's coming.
Coming soon.
All right. Tomorrow we've got actually quite a few games. Kansas City at Chicago, Detroit at Baltimore, Philly at Indy, the Giants at the Jets. I can't even really say one at the other.
Jets.
It's just in there.
Oh, they just changed the color of the lights and everything.
Oh, there
the
you go.
whole Team, yeah.
I wonder if they changed the ticket prices versus who's at home.
Jets are cheap. Giants are expensive.
You think so? You think they do that?
I think there's
I would
probably
think
an
so.
across-the-board price as far as standard, like from the NFL pricing, but I bet you scalping-wise, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Giants
scalping hands down.
tickets are
Yeah,
way more
that's what.
expensive.
But I mean, do you pay the same price for a Jets game versus a Giants game? Is it $10 more for one and not the other?
I bet
I think
you
they'd
it
have
is.
to since they're playing in that newer stadium since they moved. I bet you it is. Before, maybe not. But now,
That'd be
'cause they had
interesting
to
to
enter
know.
into an agreement to stay to keep playing at the same place.
Well, you got to
so.
try to get some people to come to the Jets game, whereas you're sold out for the Giants game.
All right, Tennessee at Oakland. The
Jets suck.
Oh yeah.
L.A. at Denver, and Sunday we have 3 Sunday games, which is pretty cool. Gives me something to do. San Diego at Minnesota, Arizona at Houston, and good old Cincinnati at Jacksonville. I'd actually make the trip up to Jacksonville to go see that game.
If
Just for something to do.
Tebow was there, I'd go.
I got a soft spot for the Jags. I do.
Do you?
I do.
All right, I'll go with you.
It's a possibility. It's a 50-50. Oh no, I can't make it. We'd have to. I've got a wiffle ball game on Sunday. With the guys? It's keg wiffle ball.
I can't wait to be able to play that.
You should come Sunday.
I really can't. Not supposed to really be drinking beer
Then put water in your cup. We won't tell anybody.
on Sunday.
Yeah, we're meeting up at noon
Sunday's
across
my
the
birthday.
way. It is.
I gotta work
No,
Sunday,
you got
too.
stuff to do. What do you mean you're working on Sunday?
I got to work Sunday.
Working football? Working your remote? Watching
No,
football?
this is this other thing I'm doing. I got to do.
Understood.
Sucks, but it's true.
That's
the only reason
Got
why
to bang his wife all.
That's the only reason why I haven't been there yet, because I wanted to go do it. When you told
Chucky,
and I knew he was going to totally blow it, I was all about it. But unfortunately, I'm stuck until 6. So,
all right.
what are you doing Saturday?
Saturday is dad duty day for me.
Dad duty day.
Yes.
Or you just walk around pooping everywhere?
Just about. No.
Oh God, that's this Saturday also, isn't it?
What do you have going on? It sounds like you got a busy schedule.
Yeah, I forgot my birthday's this weekend.
How do you forget your birthday?
Right? Isn't that right? So,
yes, Evan, your birthday's on.
God
yes.
damn it! I totally forgot because we're supposed to go to. We're going to.
Hey, Mambo.
Oh, the Italian place.
Dolce Italia.
Yeah, Dolce Italia.
You still could
On Saturday night,
Okay.
but we've got that thing at Molly Malone's. We're doing the Molly Malone's party
All day.
from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Oh no, from 2 to 6.
I thought. Oh, you're doing 2 to 6.
2 to 6 at Molly Malone's. I totally friggin' forgot about that. But hey, guys, come on out to Molly Malone's. 2 to 6, we'll be there live. They're gonna open up at noon. Starts the party. They're gonna go till 2 in the morning. They're gonna have the Fireball girls there. They're gonna have tickets they're giving away for the Bucks. They're giving away tickets to the Rays. They are gonna have all kinds of drink specials and music. Come on down, have a good time. It's gonna be fun.
Are the Rays even seeing people in their stands?
When they are in first place, it's tough to do it. So at this point, I really doubt it.
I'm actually spending some time here. That's why I'm kind of quiet. I just looked up the ticket prices for the Giants.
Right.
And seeing what's available as a home team. Their tickets range anywhere from, $330 all the way up to $700.
For Giants team?
Yeah. And for the Jets at home, say like against Buffalo, best ticket price.
They pay you.
Drum roll.
If you bring half the team with you, then you get a discount because they can't afford a bus to get from Buffalo because they be sucking.
I don't know why this is such a big deal for me to find this out, but it just...
Does it say it?
Here we go. Oh, geez. Just to go to the Jets game, their bottom price on a ticket starts at $150.
That's still-
$143 and up.
That's more than half for the Jets, though.
Yeah.
That's more than half.
So, no, those ticket prices are completely different
Yeah.
for those two teams. I just wanted to know,
They have the gall to ask for $150 against
Buffalo.
Against Buffalo as the Jets. Who the hell's going to pay that?
And then I looked up the Giants playing, was it Cleveland?
Mm-hmm. And that was $356 was the cheapest.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I would not go to a football game for that.
Well, guys, thank you for listening in. Another great day. On Monday, we're going to turn right back around, and we'll have Joe Cool in the studio, keeping wrestling relevant in the second hour, and talk some football and some fantasy football coming up. We are now starting week 1 of college football officially tonight. Hawaii and Cal playing in Sydney, Australia.
Can't wait.
10 o'clock on ESPN. And for MMA people, Bellator 160 on Spike TV. For Jay and Evan, I'm your host, Brian Gould. This is The Brian Gould Show. I will talk to you guys next week.